Hello guys, welcome to Open Techno. Today I'm going to introduce you to a completely free office suite that includes artificial intelligence and is compatible with the entire Microsoft suite. That is with Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. In addition, this will include the ability to create, open, and edit PDF documents, all with a tool that is extremely lightweight for your computer. This program only takes up 251 megabytes and is integrated into a single interface, meaning we won't need separate programs for Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. This is WPS software, or WPS in Spanish, a suite that, as I mentioned, will include all these programs. And we're gonna see how to install it because it's really fast. To download it, we just go to the WPS website or WPS.com, click on download, and save it. You'll see it's already downloaded and installs instantly like this. It's as simple as I said. It won't take long, even if you have slow internet, because it only takes up 250 megabytes while it finishes installing. I'm going to share a few things about WPS for those unfamiliar with it. The company is a brand that was founded 37 years ago and has been dedicated to making this office software, which is completely free, in its basic version for all the basic document editing features. Then it is fully compatible with all types of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files from the entire Microsoft suite, and you'll be able to open and edit them without any problems. Because there are programs that, for example, open these types of files, but then you can only view them or you can't modify them because they have certain incompatibilities. Also for the cloud topic, which I'll explain to you later, because there is a subscription you can get to enjoy all the artificial intelligence features or unlock some things like PDF editing, for example. Just so you know, it's backed by Amazon Web Services, which provides the security of a cloud, well, the most widely used cloud in the world. As you can see from what I mentioned, this is already fully installed. This would be the interface you'll find when you start WPS for the first time, an interface that, as I mentioned, includes absolutely everything in one. You'll see that at first, without logging in, we'll have access to absolutely all the main and basic features we'd expect from an office suite. First, let's see how to create a new document. We would click up here on New. We'll also be able to create a text document, a numeric table, or Excel, so to speak, a presentation, some slides for, well, the presentation, or the option to create a PDF. Also, as you can see, it allows us not only to create a PDF, but also, for example, to convert a PDF to Word, a PDF to Excel, to an image, convert an image to PDF, or a PDF to, well, a presentation, some slides. To start, for example, a new document, we would click on Start a New One. A new blank page opens for us, so I'm going to add something to it. Well, I want a little more zoom so you all can see it better too. How are you going to see? The interface is typical of an office suite, with a central or main area where we can edit all the text we're writing. For example, good afternoon, and let me introduce myself because I would like to. Next, I am attaching this respectfully, Alejandro. We have quickly drafted this document, as you can see, just like in any other text editor. Then we're going to have font types, basically unlimited, all the ones we would normally have in any text editor. For example, let's set it to Verdana, and as you can see, we have the option to use different ones, and then styles like regular or italic. I'll leave it as is. I think the text looks good this way. And then, for example, we can highlight some things in bold, like these areas here, or we can even paste images here, like this one of the City of London. As you can see, it's a completely normal text editor that has absolutely all the features we could expect, like, for example, even adding a table here, name. Anyway, we can do countless things, but I don't want to dwell on this because in the end, it's up to each person's imagination. You all know how a text editor works, so you can see that this WPS suite is fully compatible with Office. I'm going to open, for example, a Word document here that I had from university years ago. Honestly, I don't even remember what this is anymore. It's a document we created with terminology in doc format, and as you can see, it opens easily. And for example, here we could keep editing, for instance, Backbone Network. Well, I don't know, I don't remember what this subject was about anymore, but you can see that we could keep editing this whole document. In fact, now we're going to use something else next. In fact, you'll also see that we can open Excel tables, like this one I have here, which is like a preparation for people who need to have a colonoscopy and so on. Well, as you can see, it opens it perfectly. You can also edit it and it's fully compatible. It doesn't give any errors at all. As you'll see, I created my final degree project presentation in PowerPoint and exported it to PDF. If I upload the PDF here, it already recognizes it as a presentation with the slides up here and the notes I had down here, but it recognizes it perfectly. What's more, it even tells me if I want to transfer the PDF to a PowerPoint, for which it asks me to log in. So let's log in and see what other possibilities this suite offers us. If we pay for the subscription that's available, well, as you'll see, we've logged in. It first tells us we can convert a PDF to PowerPoint. Let's see. Hey, it did a great job. After all, we already have our slides here. And well, are you seeing what's happening here? There's something strange, and it's that it combines the presentation with the notes I had at the bottom. This is because, in the end, since we exported it to PDF, well, now it converts it to a PowerPoint, but it doesn't do it in the most optimal way. What we would all probably expect is for the presentation to be much bigger and for the notes to be recognized as notes. But, well, it's understandable, because in the end it detects that there's a PDF, and it doesn't really know if that was a presentation or not. The only thing it allowed us to do was to transfer everything to a PowerPoint presentation extensible markup language so we can work on it now. Now, once you've logged in, you'll see that new things will appear, like this artificial intelligence feature, for example. But earlier I mentioned to you that this whole tool was free, and now I'm telling you that it costs money, right? Let's review the basics: writing in Word, adding images, and exporting as a Word document or PDF. You can use it completely free in the same way with Excel or making presentations in PowerPoint, as well as, for example, editing PDFs and so on. Now we have the WPS Pro X333 subscription, which allows us to expand some capabilities. For example, editing PDFs that are already exported and finished, as you saw earlier. Also, for example, transferring a PDF to a PowerPoint presentation file, or having access to templates, which I'm going to show you now. In the same way, you will also have 20 GB in the cloud to sync your files across all your devices. Later, I'll show you that if, for example, you don't have access to your computer, you'll be able to keep editing these files from your phone now if you want. It also has an artificial intelligence feature that lets us generate, correct, and adjust text to be more formal or informal. Would this be the subscription you're interested in? 12 euros per month, and what does it include for you? Does it include the WPS Pro part as well? All the features in full, like the ability to use artificial intelligence while editing these documents. However, if you need these features today, and as I mentioned before, it was free, you should still know that it's much cheaper. For example, if you want to pay for the Microsoft Suite, since for instance the Microsoft Suite, the family plan is 130 euros per year, the personal plan is 100 euros per year. You would be saving a lot of money, plus it includes much more complete features. I have the full subscription WPS Pro, more artificial intelligence, and for example, in this Word, what we can do is, well, I select everything and I want you to improve it for me. The writing, as you've seen, for example, it has already made it more formal for me. Dear sirs, let me introduce myself. My name is Alejandro, and I have the honor of applying for the visa. Okay, and does this seem too formal to you? Well, we can say I liked it, but I want it to be more informal and much longer, filling up a whole page on one side. Alright, he really worked hard here and wrote an amazing letter, because in the end, what I asked him was to fill up a whole page. So let's see what all this text has generated for us. Well, now it didn't catch the intros, so is that something we would have to do ourselves? But as you can see, it has generated a huge chunk of text for us. In a moment, with the same information we provided, but much more detailed. Now, for example, we can start from a blank document and tell it what we want to do. I want you to generate a request for me to enroll in the paddle course in Santander, and let's see what it does. This will give us a good starting point for our documents. Dear course organizers, I am interested in improving my skills and would appreciate information on enrollment requirements. I look forward to your response. Sincerely. That's fine then. You have created a text to request information about enrolling in the paddle course. The truth is that this artificial intelligence has sent it. And in this case, to put the name of the person who sent it, and to put the name of the person who sent it. And now let's put the one who has sent it to us. And here in this case, put the name of the person who sent the letter, and in this case, let's put the one who has sent it to us. And here, put the one who sent the correct one. And in the end, all the options it gives us are very useful. And as you can see, all the artificial intelligence is really well integrated into document editing. But if you don't need cloud uploads, you can use the free version, which already lets you open and edit many documents. And I didn't want to overlook that if you pay for the subscription, you'll have access to this endless template page, on which you'll find, for example, resumes or letters or, well, text documents, spreadsheets. Let's download, for example, a pro one here. This one is pro, or even better, an invoice generator, which could be quite interesting. I simply download it, import it into the software, and as you can see here, we'll already be able to, for example, edit the data. Let's put here, well, Alejandro Fernandez, my addresses. The invoice number is going to be, well, in fact, you can see here that it already takes it from the previous invoice. So this template is really well made. We will be able to postpone the date when we are selling the item here, the value of each item, what we have paid, and it generates the total of the invoice for us. Well, right now it's in a currency that's not euros, but you can adapt this to your own currency. And well, you would have a template that is super complete, which also allows you to save even more time, in addition to artificial intelligence. Since you're already paying for a subscription, you have access to all these templates, which is really great. Of course, having the subscription and the files saved in the cloud will allow them to be collaborative. So it's perfect if we want to do projects among students. As you can see, the WPS Office app is already well known in the mobile world, and it comes pre-installed on many phones by default. And as you can see, the interface is quite simple. We have all the files we've opened, or well, recently for example, this one about steps to assemble a PC, which was made with artificial intelligence. Or for example, can we access the ones we were just editing? For example, this is the one about applying for a visa to the United Kingdom. We can read it from here, or even edit it using this button here. So here we could write, delete things, or add them. Well, for example, an image that comes to mind is this one I had here of a watch. And well, here we can widen it, make it bigger, smaller, or rotate it. Anyway, the best way to do this isn't from your phone, but hey, if you ever need to in an emergency, just know that you can. Similarly, we can view Excel tables. For example, the one we had for the colonoscopy treatment. As you can see, here we have the entire table we had before. We can search to fill in fields, and hey, if we need to make small changes, you can see that we can do them from here. Or even share it through WhatsApp, share the link since we have it uploaded to the cloud. And that's it guys, that's all for now. I hope the video helped you discover an interesting software and that it also helps you avoid having to pirate Microsoft Office. Or that you don't have to, for example, work through the cloud, like in Google Docs. Instead, it's installed on your computer and serves you for free for basic tasks. The paid version unlocks additional features if you're interested. We'll set aside the topic of artificial intelligence and device synchronization. Below in the description, there's a link for you to fill out some additional information about WPs or WPS, and of course the download link if you want to get it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. See you next time. Goodbye.